Om Sai Ram. This is Sai Satcharitra chapter 7. This chapter covers the following: the wonderful incarnation, Sai Baba's behavior, his yogic practices, his all-pervasiveness, the leper devotee's service, Master Khaparde's plague, and going to Pandharpur. The wonderful incarnation. Sai Baba knew every yogic practice possible. He was well versed in 6 processes which included Devotee, stomach cleaning by a moistened piece of linen 3 inches in breadth and 22.5 inches in length, Khanda Yoga, or separating his limbs and joining them again, and Samadhi. If you thought that he was a Hindu, he looked like a Muslim. If you thought that he looked like a Muslim, he appeared to be a pious Hindu. No one really knew whether he was a Hindu or a Muslim. He celebrated the Hindu festival of Ram Navami with all due formalities and at the same time permitted the sandal procession of the Muslims. He encouraged wrestling bouts in this festival and gave good prizes to winners. When it was time for the Gokul Ashtami, he got the Gopal Kala ceremony duly performed, and during the Eid festival, he allowed Muslims to say their prayers in his masjid. Once, during the Muharram festival, a few Muslims proposed constructing a tajia or tabut in the masjid, keeping it there for a few days and afterwards taking it in procession through the village. Sai Baba allowed keeping the tabut for 4 days and on the 5th day had it removed without the least compunction. If we were to say that he was a Muslim, his ears were pierced according to the Hindu custom at that time. If you think that he was a Hindu, he advocated the practice of circumcision, though according to Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar, who observed him closely, Baba was not circumcised. If you call him Hindu, he always lived in the masjid. If Muslim, he always had the dhuni or sacred fire burning there. He also allowed the following things which are contrary to Muslim religion: blowing of the conch, ringing of bells, oblation to the fire, bhajan, and worship of Baba's feet with water. If you think that he was a Muslim, the best of Brahmins, forgetting their orthodox ways, fell prostrate at his feet. Those who went to find out about his origins were dumbfounded and were captured by his darshana. Thus, no one could discern whether Sai Baba was a Hindu or a Muslim. This is not surprising, for he who completely surrenders himself to the Lord and gets rid of his egoism and body consciousness thus becomes one with him. Therefore, he has nothing to do with any question of religion or caste. Sai Baba was such a being and saw no difference between religions or between beings. He ate meat and fish with fakirs but did not grumble when dogs tried to eat from his dish. Sai Baba was such a unique and wonderful incarnation. On account of the merits in my past birth, I had the good fortune to sit at his feet and enjoy his divine company. The joy and delight I derived therefrom was incomparable. In fact, Sai Baba was pure divine bliss and consciousness. I cannot sufficiently describe his greatness and uniqueness. He who took delight at Baba's feet was established in his own self. Many sannyasis, sadhakas, and all sorts of men aspiring for salvation came to Sai Baba. He always walked, talked, and laughed with them, and always said the words Allah, Malik, God is the sole owner or master. He never liked discussion or arguments. He was always calm and controlled. Though irritable at times, he always preached the Vedanta, and nobody knew till the end who Baba was. Princes and poor people were treated alike by him. He knew everyone's deepest secrets, and when he gave expression to them, everyone was surprised. He was the repository of all knowledge, and yet he feigned ignorance. He also disliked honor. Such were the characteristics of Sai Baba. Though he had a human body, his deeds testified to his divine nature. Everyone considered him the Lord God in Shirdi. Sai Baba's behavior. The fool that I am, I cannot describe Baba's miracles. He got almost all the temples in Shirdi repaired. Through Tatya Patil, the temples of Shani, Ganapati, Shankar Parvati, the village deity, and Maruti were put in order. His charity was also remarkable. The money he used to collect as dakshina was distributed freely, 20 rupees to some and 15 or even 50 to others every day. People were immensely benefited by receiving Baba's darshana. Some became hale and hearty, wicked people were turned into good ones, leprosy was cured in some cases, while some blind men got back their sight without any drops or medicine being put in their eyes, and lame ones were able to walk. Nobody could see the end to his extraordinary greatness. His fame spread far and wide, and pilgrims from everywhere flocked to Shirdi. Baba sat near the dhuni and always meditated. He used to tie a white turban on his head and wore a clean white dhotar around his waist and a shirt on his body. This was his dress in the beginning. He started practicing medicine in the village, examined patients, and gave medicines. He was always successful and became famous as a doctor. A curious case is narrated here. A devotee's eyeballs were very red and swollen. No doctor was available in Shirdi, and thus the other devotees took him to Baba. Other doctors would use ointments, cow's milk, and camphorated drugs in such cases. Baba's remedy was quite unique. He pounded some biba or carpus anacardium, that is, marking nuts, and made 2 balls of them, thrust them on each eye of the patient, and wrapped a cloth bandage around both eyes. The next day, the bandage was removed and water was poured over them in a stream. The inflammation had subsided and the pupils had become white and clear. Though the eyes were very delicate, the biba caused no smarting but removed the disease of the eyes. Many such cases were cured, and this is only an instance in point. Baba's yogic practices. Baba knew all the processes and practices of yoga. We will attempt to describe 2 of these processes. Number 1, dhauti, the cleaning process. Baba went to a well near a banyan tree, which was a considerable distance from the masjid, every 3rd day and washed his mouth and had a bath. On one occasion, he was seen vomiting out his intestines, cleaning them and placing them on a tree to dry. There are persons in Shirdi who have actually seen this and have testified to this fact. Ordinary dhauti is done using a moistened piece of linen, 3 inches broad and 22.5 feet long. This piece is ingested and allowed to remain in the stomach for about half an hour and is then taken out. But Baba's dhauti was unique and extraordinary. Number 2, Khanda Yoga. In this practice, Baba extracted various limbs from his body and left them separately at different places in the masjid. Once, a gentleman went to the masjid and saw Baba's limbs lying separately at different places. He was terrified and he first thought of running to the village officers and informing them of Baba being hacked to pieces and murdered. He thought that he would be held responsible as he was the first informant and thus knew something of the affair. But the next day when he went to the masjid, he was very surprised to see Baba hale, hearty and sound. He thought that what he had seen the previous day was only a dream. Baba practiced yoga from a very early age, but nobody knew the proficiency he had attained. He charged no fees for his cures, became renowned and famous by virtue of his merits, and gave health to many a poor and suffering person. This famous doctor of doctors did not care for his own interests, but always worked for the good and welfare of others, sometimes suffering unbearable and terrible pain in the process. One such instance is given below, and it will show the all-pervasiveness and extremely merciful character of Sai Baba. Baba's all-pervasiveness and mercy. In the year 1910, Baba was sitting near the dhuni, that is, the sacred fire that he kept burning all day, on Diwali day and warming himself. He was pushing firewood into the dhuni, which was burning brightly. A little later, instead of pushing logs of wood, Baba pushed his arm into the dhuni. The arm was burnt immediately. This was noticed by the servant Madhava and also by Madhavrao Deshpande or Shama. They at once ran to Baba, and Madhavrao clasped Baba by his waist from behind and dragged him forcibly backwards and asked, "Deva, why did you do this?" Then Baba came to his senses and replied, "The wife of a blacksmith at some distant place was working the bellows of a furnace. When her husband called her, she forgot that her child was on her lap. She ran hastily and the child slipped into the furnace. I immediately thrust my hand into the furnace and saved the child. I do not mind my arm being burnt, but I am glad that the life of the child was saved." The Leper devotee's service. On hearing the news of Baba's hand being burnt, Mr. Nanasaheb Chandorkar, accompanied by the famous Dr. Parmanand of Bombay with his medical kit consisting of ointments, lint and bandages, rushed to Shirdi. Nanasaheb requested Baba to allow Dr. Parmanand to examine the arm and dress the burn. Baba refused this treatment. Since then, the arm was dressed by the leper devotee Bagoji Shinde. His treatment consisted of massaging the burnt part with ghee, that is clarified butter, and then placing a leaf over it and securing it tightly with bandages. Mr. Nanasaheb Chandorkar asked Baba many a times to unfasten the bandages and have the wound examined, dressed and treated by Dr. Parmanand so that it would heal quicker. Dr. Parmanand himself made similar requests, but Baba postponed it, saying that Allah was his doctor and that Allah did not allow his arm to be examined. Dr. Parmanand's medicines were not exposed to the air in Shirdi, but he had the good fortune of receiving Baba's darshana. Bagoji was allowed to treat the hand daily, and after a few days, the arm healed and everyone was happy. We do not know whether any trace of pain remained. Every morning, Bagoji went through this program of loosening the bandages, massaging the arm with ghee, and tightly bandaging it again. This went on till Sai Baba's Mahasamadhi, or his death. Sai Baba, a perfect sage, did not really need this treatment, but out of love for his devotee, he allowed the upasana, or service, to go on uninterrupted. When Baba left for the Lendi, Bagoji held an umbrella over him and accompanied him. Every morning, when Baba sat near the post close to the Duni, Bagoji was present and started his service. Bagoji was a sinner in his past birth. He was suffering from leprosy, his fingers had shrunk, and his body was full of pus and smelled badly. Though he seemed so unfortunate on the outside, he was really very lucky and happy, for he was Baba's premier servant and thus got the benefit of his darshana. Master Khaparde's plague. I shall now relate another instance of Baba's wonderful Leelas. Mrs. Khaparde, the wife of Mr. Dadasaheb Khaparde of Amravati, was staying at Shirdi with her young son. One day, the son got a high fever, which further developed into bubonic plague. The mother was frightened and felt very uneasy. She thought of leaving for Amravati and went to ask Baba for permission to leave in the evening. When Baba was near the Wada, which is now the Samadhi Mandir, she informed him in a trembling tone that her dear son was down with plague. Baba spoke kindly and softly to her, saying that the sky is beset with clouds, but they will melt and pass, and everything will be smooth and clear. Saying this, he lifted his kafni to the waist and showed everyone present 4 fully developed lumps as big as eggs, and added, "See how I have to suffer for my devotees? Their difficulties are mine." Seeing this unique and extraordinary miracle, people were convinced as to how saints suffer pains for their devotees. The mind of the saints is softer than wax. They love their devotees without any idea of gain and regard them as their true relatives. Going to Pandharpur and staying there. We shall close this chapter after relating a story illustrating how much Sai Baba loved his devotees and how he anticipated their wishes. Mr. Nanasaheb Chandorkar, a great devotee of Baba, was Mamlatdar at Nandurbar in Khandesh. He was transferred to Pandharpur. His devotion to Sai Baba bore fruit, as he got an order to go and stay at Pandharpur, which is regarded as Bhuvaikunta, or heaven on earth. Nana Sahib had to report to work soon after he received the order, so he left immediately without even writing or informing anybody at Shirdi. He wanted to surprise Baba by visiting Shirdi, his Pandharpur, to see and bow before his Vithoba, that is Baba, and then proceed. Nobody dreamt of Nana Sahib's departure for Shirdi, but Sai Baba knew all about this, as he was omniscient. As soon as Nana Sahib approached Neemgaon, a few miles from Shirdi, there was a stir in the masjid at Shirdi. Baba was sitting and talking to Mahalsapati, Appa Shinde and Kashiram, when he suddenly said, "Let us all sing some bhajans. The doors of Pandari, the Pandharpur Maharaj, are open. Let us sing merrily." Then they all began to sing, the theme of the song being, "I have to go to Pandharpur and I have to stay there, for it is the house of my Lord." Baba sang and the devotees followed him. A short while later, Nana Sahib arrived in Shirdi with his family, prostrated before Baba, and requested him to accompany them to Pandharpur and stay there with them. The devotees told Nana Sahib that Baba was already in the mood to go to Pandharpur, and thus this invitation was unnecessary. Hearing this, Nana Sahib was moved and fell at Baba's feet. Then after receiving Baba's permission, Udi, that is sacred ashes, and blessings, Nana Sahib left for Pandharpur. There is no end to Baba's stories, but let me now stop here. I will reserve for the next chapter other topics such as the importance of human life, Baba living on alms, Bayaja Bai's service, and a few other stories. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all. And this brings us to the end of Sai Satcharitra, chapter 7.